So I've run into a little bit of problem. So I've been collecting Lego Jurassic World slash Park since 2015, and my Lego collection has gone a little bit out of hand. This was my Lego table that I thought I had completed in 2022 before I moved, and it is currently very well overtaken. I've kind of gone to a little bit more of an adult hobby with my Hammond collection. So I haven't gotten all of them. I kind of joined a little late, but I have a pretty good number of Hammond collection before they go into the resale market and are just absolutely insane in price. So up here I do have some real life fossils. So that is a real upper and lower jaw of a mosasaur fish, and then the small one right below it is also a mosasaur tooth that I got before the jaw. And then just some miscellaneous Jurassic World Dominion miniature collectible mini dinosaurs that came in those eggs behind them. And then my pop can collection. And then up here I do have the TIE fighters. The Darth Vader's TIE Interceptor I did make out of just one of the normal standard TIE fighters. And kind of a better look at it. They're all being held up by a little bit of fishing line. But then up here, I have him chasing down Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing. So it's a little Lego trench run that I have in here. Even though kind of the main point is Jurassic World and Park, I also am a pretty big fan of Lego Star Wars by the UCS AT-AT over in the corner. I do have some posters that I want to put up from Hobby Lobby, like Sue the T-Rex over there, and also this poster that I made with my mom. I do have a space heater. It's really nice in the winter. It's currently blizzarding outside. And over here on this shelf, I have all of my Lego Jurassic Park sets and like all my individual minifigures, not including my duplicates. So over here, I have my mountain of instructions of all my Jurassic Park sets and the kind of dinosaur related sets, not including in my Star Wars or any other miscellaneous miscellaneous Lego sets. This is all from my Lego, this is the Lego Jurassic World sets. And if you look at the shelf a little bit, you can kind of see a warp in the shelf. If you can tell, I kind of had the instructions over in the middle, and it put a lot of sag into the shelf because there isn't a middle brace, like a shelf support, and really bent the wood. So up here, just some miscellaneous stuff that I couldn't find a place for. My starships over here, and then just a whole bunch of just miscellaneous Lego sets. And then there's my Owen Grady collection. I took them off my minifig table and my Jurassic Park table, put them over here. And then here's just a better look at all the individual minifigures. I do have the kind of, not UCS, but the bigger T-Rex skeleton with Dr. Grant and Ellie Sattler. But they're at my apartment right now. I didn't want to add the minifigures on there because I spent $250. I think they look really good with the set, so I didn't add them to display here. I also don't have the original, like, what was it, like $280, maybe pushing $300 big T-Rex with the gate, Jurassic Park gate with all the minifigures. I don't have that set yet. It's on my bucket list. Now down here, those are important for future references. I do have a whole bunch of junk just everywhere. I would keep my place clean even though it's really not. Here's kind of my setup. So I do have a TV. So if you saw the tape over here, I use these CDs. That's what I grew up watching Jurassic Park off of, is those DVDs right there. And then I just play a movie or two while I'm working. I do have a pretty large collection of Lego 2x4 plates over here. I think it's 5'8" off the table. And then just over here, I just have a stockpile of all my individual parts that go into my my creation that I'm working on. I do have the not UCS, oh my gosh, the Dark Millennium Falcon. But here's what I've been kind of working on. So here's the laboratory for it. It's a complete mess right now. Still working on it. There is a Velociraptor in there, and a pterodactyl. Those won't be included in there, but there's like individual lab sections for these baby dinosaurs that are being studied or whatever. But here's kind of my pride and joy right here. I've been working on it off and on. It's kind of hard. I was working all summer and then being away in college. I'm on fall break right now, so this is the only time I really get to show it. But I'm working on this. It's kind of the outer wall. This took a lot of trials to get. The other side is not as good. And then here's the front of what it is. And I'll try and flip it around here shortly. But this, what I'm working on right now, is a huge black market from Jurassic World Dominion. Even though I didn't really like the movie all that much, I still thought it would have been a great idea to try and just make an attempt at the black market, because I had the sets, and then I just completely took them apart and started building this. And then I just been going and going and going and going almost every weekend to the Jordan Creek Mall in Iowa to get parts. And so here's kind of the rough draft of what I'm looking at here. So these two portions that I'm working on, everything is modular, so it can split completely down the middle. And so these two sections are A and B, and then over there are the starting points of C and D, and then and it's going to be, I believe, from this corner to this corner over here, 81.5 inches, and then from here to here, I believe 61.5 inches long. And then this is kind of like a segment of like how it's gonna look, like the arena area, how it's gonna look. I want it to have like a little bit of slope to it, but it might change. And then over here, as you can see, 2 stories tall, 1 story, 2 story, and that's kind of displayed here. And this is gonna be like this section right here, which I have labeled as storage if you can read my handwriting. And then over here I have the black market, and that's hopefully going to be 3 stories, because I want to include the laboratory on top of there, but I didn't make it so it wasn't modular, so I might have to make this section here not modular, and just have these be just one fused base plate, which I don't think will be that big a problem. And then I also want to add a runway right here, because I took 3 of the original Jurassic World Dominion. I can't think of the one with the Quetzalcoatlus, and I put them together, and I made this. I don't have a 4th one, because I combined all 3 of them together. I basically made 2. I combined 2 sets together and said, you know what, let's just add a 3rd one. And I made this. It is accurate size to like the size comparison online. So here's a Quetzalcoatlus in comparison there. And I'm doing this all one-handed. And all this stuff here, I forgot to mention real quick. A lot of these dinosaurs are going into the black market, especially my custom baryonyx with like cybernetic arm that was briefly shown in Dominion. I thought was really cool. But the cockpit can open, kind of. Not like that, but it can fit 2 minifigures side by side. I did have Owen in there, but then I added him to the Owen collection, and plus other few minifigures. And then Claire used to sit back here in her little cup chair, and then I had oh gosh, I cannot remember her name, but her and Owen sat up front in the cockpit. So yeah, that's just kind of a little bit of a rundown of how everything's been going. Down here is all of my Lego Jurassic World in Park Legos. A little bit of Lego Star Wars in there. Over in that big old tote is all my Halo Mega Constructs. I was a big fan of Halo, and then I went through a little bit of a phase, and then I grew out of it. One thing I'd like to mention as well is that I have multiple brachiosaurs because I bought one, and then I got another for my birthday, and then I bought a third, and then I was thinking about buying a fourth one, but then I saw that they were half off at Walmart, so I had to buy two. And then so this one right here, the tree, not the brachiosaur, is the original tree, and then I just made my own custom trees and then just foliage down there of the spare parts. So I'm a little bit of my own kind of like DIY Lego creator. So I really am hoping that I can use my skills to kind of improve on this. Like, let's see if I can find it real quick. Where the hell's the original skull? I had the original skull from the black market, but I took it and I made my own custom Triceratops skull out of it. It must have focused. There we go. And then I just kind of add the body to it from the bigger black market set. And then from that, I went on to make a Pachyrhinosaurus skull with all the horns. I think it's a Pachyrhinosaurus. Yeah, I believe it was. No, I didn't have a front horn. I can't remember it. No, Pachyrhinosaurus didn't. Was it? I don't remember. But yeah, it had a lot of horns in the back. It didn't have the big horns that stuck out the front like a Triceratops, but it did have a really big front nose horn. So there's that. And they also added like an HVAC system to it as well. Try and get a better view of the front. Right there. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on, and hopefully I can have more updates to this here soon. Thank you.